Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is February 10th, 2026, and Joan Laporta has said goodbye to his players and his coach, and we're going to discuss those statements. Also, Julian Alvarez distancing himself from these elections. And finally, Dusan Vlahovic, they're assuring that he truly is coming to Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Boo. We'll begin this video with the news that Joan Laporta today bid farewell to the players and to Hansi Flick in an emotional speech. Now, as you know by now, Joan Laporta has officially resigned in order to run for re-election. This is, of course, per Barcelona's bylaws. If you want to run for re-election, you have to resign in order to become a candidate. So this is exactly what Joan Laporta has done alongside other members of the board of directors. And now the president, or the acting president, I should say, of Barcelona will be the VP, Rafa Yuste, until, of course, these elections are over. Now, as I've mentioned before, Victor Font, Xavi Villajuana, Marc Siria, and a new guy named Marak will be running against Joan Laporta for the presidency of FC Barcelona. And here at Barca News, I will be covering this election season. I'm going to be making videos about all the candidates, their platforms, any speeches that they might give, any debates that might happen. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you hit that bell button so you can get an update every time I post a video. Anyways, and now that Joan Laporta has resigned, he did visit the locker room in order to say goodbye to the players and to Hansi Flick. And this is what the Barcelona president had to say. These are the club's statutes because we are governed by democratic rules, explaining, of course, why he has to resign. It's per the rules. Rafa Yuste will remain as president along with 6 other board members. I want you to take care of him, and he will act appropriately as president. With the will to win, and if everything goes well, I hope to win on March 15th. That's, of course, election day. Then I will return, and Rafa Yuste and I will govern until July 1st because that is what the statutes say. I'll miss you all during these 45 days because the best thing for me as president has been being with you, with Flick, and with the staff. You are the true architects of what's happening at Barca today. We're at a historic moment, and you're making the fans happy. As president, I want to thank you because I've had the privilege of being president for these past 5 years, and it's gone well thanks to you. Last year was historic, and this year is proving to be very good. I want to come back on March 15th to be with you again. I'm really excited to finish the stadium for you, which you deserve, and to keep winning titles. Thank you very much, and Visca el Barça. Visca el Barça indeed. Now, these are the statements of Joan Laporta, who will now become just a candidate, no longer the president. But of course, as I mentioned many times before, I do expect for Joan Laporta to win re-election because if history is an indication, as long as the team is doing well, whoever is president usually wins re-election. Anyways, on to the next bit of news, because speaking of the elections, Julian Alvarez, through his agent, has decided to distance himself from these elections and these rumors. Now, of course, Julian Alvarez is someone that's consistently being linked with Barcelona. As we know, he is Joan Laporta's favorite option for the center forward position, even though, of course, it's more of a dream than an option given the money that Atletico Madrid are going to want for the Argentine. And while lately there's been a lot of rumors with, candidates supposedly reaching out to his entourage to see, if he would be interested to join. Because as you know, every election, candidates are always promising to bring this player and that player. Laporta ran on the promise of keeping Messi, so on and so forth. Every candidate does the same thing. And well, Julian Alvarez, through his agent, decided that he wanted to distance himself. And this is what the Argentine had to say. We have never spoken to any candidate for the presidency of Barcelona, and everything that is being said about it is not true. Julian has a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2030, and anyone who wants to sign him must contact the club, not us. So there you have it, folks. Julian Alvarez saying, don't use my name because I have nothing to do with this. And honestly, I'm glad that he's doing this because, he's right. Nobody should be using his name. Nobody should be using the name of Messi. Just write on your platform what your ideas are. Don't use players' names just to get more votes. And as I've said before, it looks like Chelsea are really pushing for him. He might end up back in the Premier League. And even if he doesn't, and even if we do have the money, I don't think we should be going out and spending huge amounts of money on a signing. We've already seen what that has done to our club, spending these godly amounts on players. Plus, I truly don't think Jolia would be the best option for the center forward position. I think someone like Haaland would be a better option. But again, regardless, we shouldn't be spending these godly amounts on players because all it does is damage the club's finances. Anyways, on to the next bit of news, because as you know, Thursday we do have the semi-final against Atletico Madrid, which we were just talking about, in the Copa del Rey. And I do have bad news, and I also have good news. Now, let's start with the bad news, because as you know, Coutinho missed 2 matches against Albacete and Mallorca due to muscle discomfort. And well, today he was expected back training with the group, but Coutinho did not train with the group today, and he is now a serious doubt for that semifinal against Atletico Madrid, which of course will be an absolute shame, because as we've seen, not only is Coutinho extremely important for the team, but I would say he is extremely important for the team. Now, I promised you good news followed after the bad news, but the good news is in regards to the player hugging Coutinho, which is, of course, Frankie de Jong, who missed the match against Mallorca due to discomfort in his pubic area. And, well, Frankie de Jong today trained with total normalcy, and he's expected to be available for the match. So I guess the silver lining is we will have Frankie de Jong, who, by the way, his form has been absolutely spectacular these last few matches. Hopefully, he can keep that up. Now, speaking of injuries, we do have bad news, and this is an update on a previous bad news that I gave you. It is, of course, in regards to Dani Rodriguez, because as I reported in a previous video, Dani Rodriguez was trying to get past a defender in the match against Barbastro. When he felt some pain in his leg, he threw himself to the ground, and he was taken off the field on a stretcher. And, well, after undergoing medical exams, it's been confirmed that Dani Rodriguez has suffered a tear of the quadriceps. Surgery was discussed, but it looks like he's not going to need it. But nonetheless, Dani Rodriguez will be off the fields for 3 months. Really terrible news for Dani Rodriguez, who cannot seem to stay healthy. You know, he debuted with the first team at the end of last season, where he dislocated his dislocated his shoulder, had to undergo surgery. He was out for 5 months. He missed the entire preseason and the beginning of the season. He came back. Once again, he started making a case for himself to get promoted to the first team, and now he gets another injury. Bad luck for the young, promising player. Anyways, speaking of attackers, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to talk about, of course, Dusan Vlahovic, someone who's been linked to Barcelona. He seems to be at the top of the list for possible replacements for Robert Lewandowski, given that his age, of course, he's 25 years old, so he's in his prime. Also, he's an actual 9, so someone that can fill that position and not pretend or be a makeshift number 9. And the most important one is that he is going to be a free agent come this summer. And, well, we do have breaking news, because the Serbian national team's physical training, of course, Dusan Vlahovic is Serbian, and a close confidant of Vlahovic, whose name is surprisingly Dusan as well. I guess it was meant to be for them to be buddies. But anyways, Dusan Ilic, I think that's how you say his last name. Again, he's the physical trainer of the Serbian national team and a friend of Dusan, his closest confidant, said the following today. He's going to Barcelona. That's what I think. Before going to Juventus, he had a chance to play in Spain because he had an offer from Atletico, but he chose to stay in Italy. Now, it's different. Dusan loves and respects Italy. That's why he stayed so long. But now he needs to get his career back on track and try to progress. Only then will he return to being the classy player we saw at Fiorentina. He was top class. He always had those skills. He's a world-class goal scorer. So there you have it, folks. Dusan Vlahovic's friend and physical trainer with the Serbian national team saying that Dusan is going to Barcelona. And of course, my question to you is, would you like to see Dusan at Barca? He's not the most exciting option for me, but given Barcelona's finances, given that Dusan will be a free agent, I think this is probably the best case scenario that we can get. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very aware that Dusan hasn't had the best of performance at Juventus, But let's not forget, at Fiorentina, he was pretty good. So if anyone can do some back to his old self, I think it will be Hansi Flick. After all, he has done miracles with every single Barcelona player. But anyways, I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts, so let me know down below. Dusan Vlahovic, yes, no, maybe? Let me know in the comment section. Anyways, that is all for this video. I did upload another video a few moments ago. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, peace, guys.